Skol Nation, grab your horns and hold on to your seats because we've got massive Vikings news dropping today. The Minnesota Vikings, our purple pride, have been valued at a jaw-dropping $6.28 billion in 2025. That's right, billion with a B, and it's time to dive into what this means for our team and why it's got every fan buzzing with excitement. Back in 2005, Mark and Zygi Wilf bought our Vikings for $600 million. A steal by today's standards. Fast forward to now, and Sportico's latest NFL valuations show our team's worth has skyrocketed, with an 18% jump from last year's $5.32 billion. That's nearly $1 billion in growth in just 1 year. Can you believe how far our franchise has come? So, what's driving this insane valuation, and where do we stack up in the NFL? Stick around as we break it all down, from the TCO Performance Center to US Bank Stadium's role in this purple empire. Hit that like button if you're pumped for Vikings news, and let's get into it. $1 billion leap. Let's talk numbers, Skol fans. That 18% growth from $5.32 billion to $6.28 billion is no small feat. It's a testament to the Vikings' rising star in the NFL. This kind of jump shows the franchise is thriving, both on and off the field. But how does a team's value grow by almost $1 billion in a single year? It's all about the assets, folks. The Vikings' state-of-the-art TCO Performance Center in Eagan is a game-changer, housing top-tier training facilities that attract talent and boost the team's brand. Plus, their sweet deal to play at US Bank Stadium, even without owning it outright, adds massive value. Who else is geeking out over how our team's infrastructure is paying off? But here's the kicker. Despite this huge valuation, we're ranked 20th in the NFL. That's got me curious. Where do we stand compared to rivals like the Packers? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's unpack this ranking next. Where we rank in the NFL. Alright, Skol Nation, let's put that $6.28 billion in perspective. The Vikings sit at 20th in the NFL's valuation rankings, just behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and, those Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, we're ahead of the Los Angeles Chargers and Tennessee Titans. Not too shabby for our purple crew, right? At the top of the heap, the Dallas Cowboys are laughing all the way to the bank with a $12.8 billion valuation. Nearly double ours. On the flip side, the Cincinnati Bengals trail the pack at $5.5 billion. It's wild to think our Vikings are closer to the top dogs than the bottom. But does 20th feel right to you fans? The valuation game isn't just about wins on the field. It's about facilities, brand, and business savvy. So what's making some teams worth more? Let's dive into the formula behind these numbers and see what sets our Vikings apart. How valuations work. Ever wonder how they slap a price tag on an NFL team? It's not just about touchdowns and ticket sales. Sportico's valuation method looks at a team's equity in related businesses, real estate, and even sweet stadium deals. For the Vikings, it's a mix of their killer setup at TCO Performance Center and their agreement at US Bank Stadium. Unlike some teams, like the Cowboys, who own their stadium and have stakes in companies like Legends Hospitality, the Vikings don't fully own US Bank Stadium. But their long-term lease and the stadium's prestige as a Super Bowl host still pump up their value. Pretty smart business, if you ask me. What do you think makes our Vikings valuation so strong? Is it the facilities, the fan base, or something else? Drop a comment, and let's keep this Skol energy going as we explore the Wilf's impact next. The Wilf era. Let's give a shout-out to Mark and Zygi Wilf, the masterminds who scooped up our Vikings for $600 million back in 2005. That's like buying a Ferrari for the price of a bike today. Under their leadership, the team's value has soared to $6.28 billion, over 10 times their original investment. Talk about a Skol-worthy glow-up. The Wilfs didn't just sit back. They invested in top-notch facilities like the TCO Performance Center, which opened in 2018 and has become a hub for player development. Their vision turned the Vikings into a modern NFL powerhouse, both in gameplay and business. Who's grateful for the Wilfs' purple passion? But here's a question. Could the Wilfs push us even higher in the rankings? Let's talk about their strategy and what it means for our future in the next scene. TCO Performance Center's role. Skol Nation, let's zoom in on the TCO Performance Center, our Vikings' secret weapon in this valuation game. This 277,000 square foot facility in Egan is more than just a training ground. It's a statement of excellence. From cutting-edge rehab rooms to massive indoor practice fields, it's a player's paradise. The TCO Center boosts the Vikings brand, attracting top talent and keeping our roster in peak condition. According to Vikings.com, it's one of the NFL's premier facilities, and that prestige translates directly into dollars. No wonder our valuation jumped 18% this year. What's your favorite thing about the TCO Center? Have you toured it or seen it in action? Share your thoughts below, and let's see how it stacks up against other NFL facilities next. US Bank Stadium's impact. Now let's talk about the crown jewel of Vikings game days, US Bank Stadium. Even though the Vikings don't own it outright, their lease deal is a goldmine. This architectural marvel, with its translucent roof and massive video boards, has hosted Super Bowls and concerts, making it a global icon. The stadium's value isn't just in its beauty. It's a revenue machine. From packed game days to high-profile events, it keeps the Vikings brand shining bright. Sportico notes that stadium agreements like this one play a huge role in franchise valuations, and we're reaping the benefits. Do you think US Bank Stadium gives us an edge over teams with older venues? Hit the comments, and let's compare it to the rest of the NFL stadiums next. Comparing stadium strategies. Some NFL teams own their stadiums outright, like the Cowboys with their $1.5 billion AT&T Stadium. Others, like our Vikings, have savvy lease deals. US Bank Stadium, built with public-private funding, lets the Vikings play in a world-class venue without the full ownership burden. Smart move or missed opportunity. This setup means lower financial risk but also less control over revenue streams like parking or concessions. Still, the stadium's hosting of events like the 2018 Super Bowl and WrestleMania adds to the Vikings brand equity, pushing that $6.28 billion valuation higher. What's your take, Skol Nation? Should the Vikings aim to own their stadium one day? Or is this lease the way to go? Let's dive into how we stack up against our rivals next. Rivals in the rankings. Let's get real, Skol fans. Being 20th in the NFL valuation rankings stings a bit when we're behind the Packers. Those cheeseheads are valued just above us, alongside the Buccaneers, while we edge out the Chargers and Titans. But why are we trailing some of our NFC North rivals? It's not just about on-field success. Teams like the Packers benefit from their historic brand and ownership of Lambeau Field, a pilgrimage site for fans. Meanwhile, our modern facilities and growing fan base are closing the gap fast. Who else thinks we'll overtake Green Bay soon? Drop your predictions in the comments. Are we on track to climb the rankings? Let's look at what's driving other teams' valuations next. The NFL's big spenders. At the top of the valuation list, the Dallas Cowboys reign supreme at $12.8 billion, thanks to their global brand and stakes in businesses like Legends Hospitality. Teams like the Patriots and Rams also rank high, leveraging massive stadium projects and real estate deals. So where do our Vikings fit in? Our $6.28 billion puts us solidly in the middle, but that 18% growth shows we're on the rise. Unlike some teams tied to risky stadium investments, the Vikings' lean business model keeps us competitive without overextending. Pretty savvy, right? What do you think it'll take for the Vikings to crack the top 10? More wins, bigger facilities, or something else? Share your thoughts as we explore the future next. What's next for our Vikings? Skol Nation, this $6.28 billion valuation is just the start. With the Wilfs steering the ship and investments in facilities like TCO, the Vikings are poised for even bigger growth. Could we see another billion-dollar jump next year? I'm betting on it. Off the field, the team's focus on community engagement and global branding, like their London games, keeps the fan base growing. On the field, stars like Justin Jefferson are elevating our reputation. Who's your pick for the next big move to boost our value? Let's talk future plans. Drop your ideas in the comments, and let's see how the NFL's valuation trends might shape our path forward. The fan factor. Let's not forget the heart of the Vikings value. You, Skol Nation, our passionate fan base, filling US Bank Stadium with roars and purple pride. drives ticket sales and brand loyalty. Every jersey you buy and every game you stream adds to that $6.28 billion. Vikings News reports that our fan base is one of the most dedicated in the NFL, with sellout streaks and a global following. That energy translates to sponsorships and media deals, boosting our valuation. Who's repping their Vikings gear right now? How do you show your Skol spirit? Share your game day rituals in the comments, and let's see how fans are pushing our team's value higher. The business of football. NFL valuations aren't just about the game, they're about the business. The Vikings partnerships, from local sponsors to national brands, play a huge role in that $6.28 billion figure. Plus, their community work, like the Vikings Foundation, strengthens their brand equity. Compare that to teams like the Dolphins, who boost their value with ventures like the F1 Miami Grand Prix. The Vikings are sticking to what they do best: football and fan engagement. But could we see them branch out into new ventures? What kind of business move would you love to see from the Vikings? Drop it below, and let's talk about how the NFL's money game is evolving. Climbing the ranks. Skol Nation, our Vikings are on the move. That 18% growth is one of the strongest in the NFL, showing we're not just holding steady, we're climbing. With a young roster, top facilities, and a passionate fan base, the sky's the limit for our valuation. Could a deep playoff run or a Super Bowl push send us soaring past teams like the Packers or Bucks? Vikings.com highlights our roster's potential, with players like J.J. McCarthy and Jordan Addison ready to shine. What's the key to jumping those rankings? Let's hear your bold predictions. Comment below with where you think the Vikings will rank in 2026, and let's wrap this up with a big Skol call. Skol forever. What a ride, Skol Nation. From a $600 million purchase in 2005 to a $6.28 billion powerhouse in 2025, the Minnesota Vikings are proving they're a force in the NFL. That 18% growth shows we're not just playing the game, we're winning it on and off the field. This valuation is a love letter to every fan who screamed Skol in US Bank Stadium or cheered from home. It's proof that our passion, our facilities, and our team are building something special. So what's next for our Vikings? Let's keep pushing for that Super Bowl and a top 10 valuation. If you love this Vikings news breakdown, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more Purple Pride updates. Share this with your fellow Skol fans, and let's keep the Viking spirit alive. Skol Vikings.